Today we're going to cover chapter 6, section 4. Today we're going to learn how to find the triangle midsegment, and we're going to learn the triangle midsegment theorem. So first we need to define what a midsegment is. So a midsegment is a segment that connects the midpoints of two sides of the triangle. Every triangle has 3, which will then form the midsegment triangle. So if you notice, points M, P, and N, all of these points here on the sides of the triangle, these are all midpoints. So M, P, and N, these are all midpoints. And the way that we can tell that they're midpoints are the congruency marks on the sides. So the midsegment is formed by connecting the midpoints of two sides of the triangle. So I have a mid-segment right here in MP. So MP is a mid-segment. So is MN. It's also a mid-segment. And then the last one, because every triangle has 3, would be NP. And again, the order that you list these doesn't matter. You could also call the midsegment PN or NM or PM, either way. So these are all the midsegments, and then it creates the midsegment triangle. Next, we're going to learn the midsegment theorem that's going to tell us how to calculate the lengths of the midsegment or the side of the triangle that it's parallel to. Okay, so the next is the midsegment theorem, and this states that the segment connecting the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is going to be parallel to the third side, and it's going to be half as long as that side. So notice the arrows on these segments in my triangle. So I've got an arrow right here indicating that this segment, DE, is parallel to AC. So the midsegment is always going to be parallel to one of the sides of the triangle. And the length of that midsegment will be half as long as the side of the triangle that it's parallel to. So in order to calculate a midsegment length, you could either take the side of the triangle and multiply it by half or divide it by 2, or we could actually manipulate this, and if they give us the midsegment length, we can double it, and then that would give us the length of the side of the triangle. So remember, these arrows here are not congruency marks, they're parallel marks. And again, I can tell that DE is a midsegment, again, because of the congruency marks on the sides. Because points D and E here, these are midpoints. So that's how I can tell it's a midsegment. So the calculations in this lesson are going to be pretty easy. We're either going to be multiplying by 2 or dividing by 2, depending on what they give us. So our first example is a real world application. So here, this is a picture of a roof truss. And this is what's up in your roof. And these triangles here in these midsegments create strength in your roof. So they're telling us in this diagram that UV and VW are going to be midsegments of triangle SRT. Now I know I got a whole bunch of triangles going on here. So let me go ahead and outline SRT, the triangle here. I'm going to outline it in red. So this is triangle SRT right here. And now I'm going to outline the first midsegment, UV. So UV is right here. And then you can see that the side, since it's telling me that this is a midsegment, that tells me that this UV is going to be parallel to this side of the triangle, RT. So now, in order to find the length of UV, they've given me the length of RT. So remember, 1/2, let me maybe do the calculations down here in the white part, 1/2 of RT is equal to the midsegment length. So since they gave me the length of RT, it's 90, all I'm doing is multiplying 90 by 1/2 or dividing it by 2, and that'll give me the length of the midsegment. And 90 times 1/2 or 90 divided by 2 is 45. So the length of UV is 45. Now, you could also describe that midsegment as VU. You could also reverse the letters here. So again, all we're doing is either multiplying by 2 or multiplying by 1/2. And again, remember, multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as divide by 2. So UV is 45. Now I need to find the length of RS. So RS is the side of this triangle over here. So it's this segment right here. So they gave me the length of the midsegment VW. And VW is parallel to it, and it's 57. So now, in order to find our RS, or you could also call it SR, what we're going to do is take the midsegment, the VW, multiply it by 2, and that's going to give me the length of that side of the triangle, SR or RS. And VW, they told me, was 57. So I just need to multiply 2 times 57, and it's 114. Notice all of these were inches. So same thing here on the 45. These are 45 inches. So the length of RS is 114. Now, unless they ask you to show the algebraic equation, you don't need to show me how you're multiplying 2 times VW. Just if you know the length of VW, just show me the 2 times 57. Okay, next slide has a chart, and I know you can't really see the outline of the box, but I'm going to go ahead and outline the lines there in that table on example 2. All right, so there are actually 3 different problems here. So let me go ahead and outline this so we can see it a little bit better. So it blended in with the background. So we're going to go straight across the row. So we're going to answer and fill in all the boxes straight across the row for A, then straight across the row for B, then C, and then we're done with this example. So let me go ahead, and each time I'm going to erase what's on my triangle. Now, if you want to redraw it for each question, you can. Actually, I could probably do that. Let me just do a sketch here. Let me just recopy it so I don't have to erase each time. So this is A, B, C, R, S, T. And then I'm going to do another one because I have I have to do it 3 times. A, B, C, R, S, T. Okay, so I'm going to use the original one for row A, and I'm going to label what I've got. I'm going to take it step by step. So first they gave me AB, and AB is the length of this side of the triangle. Now, notice they gave me the information that R, S, and T are all midpoints. So that tells me that this is congruent to this. Same thing here. Same thing here. So since these are all midpoints, that tells me that these segments inside are going to be the midsegments. So RT is the midsegment that is parallel to AB. So if AB is 12, to find RT, all I have to do is divide 12 by 2, and RT has a length of 6. Next, they're giving me BC, and BC is over here. It's also the side of the triangle, and they told me it has a length of 14. Its midsegment that it's parallel to is RS. So all I have to do is divide 14 by 2, and RS equals 7. And then the last mid-segment that I see pictured here is going to be AC, which is here, and the length of this is 18. So its mid-segment will be ST. So divide 18 by 2, and ST is 9. Now, part B, the numbers change. That's why I redrew the picture. So we're not using the 12, 14, and 18 anymore. Now we're changing the numbers. So this time, the first thing that I see that they gave me was BC. And BC is the side over here. And you can see that BC is going to be 15. So its mid-segment is going to be RS. So all I have to do is take 15, divide it by 2, and RS is 7.5. Next thing they're giving me is AC, and it's 22. AC is this side over here. So they told me it's 22. So its mid-segment that it's parallel to is going to be the ST here. So half of 22 is 11. And then the other piece of given now is RT. And RT is the mid-segment. So this time, since they gave me the mid-segment, to find the side of the triangle, I have to times it by 2. So AB is going to be 20. And now for row C, this time they gave me AB is equal to 10. So I need to take half of that to find RT. So that RT will be 5. The next thing in my box that's given to me is ST. ST is the mid-segment. So it's 9. So to find AC, I have to double it. So 9 times 2, and it's 18. And the last piece that they gave me was RS. And RS is a mid-segment, 7.8. So to find BC, which is the side of the triangle it's parallel to, I'm going to take 7.8, and I can times it by 2, and I get 15.6. And your chart is done. And as you notice, all I did was multiply by 2 and divide by 2 in order to find either a mid-segment length or a side of the triangle length. Last example, it's asking us to use triangle GHJ. And again, they're telling me that A, B, and C are all midpoints. And they're giving me the length of GH, which is the side of this triangle. And they're telling me it's 7x minus 1. And then they gave me the length of the mid-segment of that side. And that's going to be 4x minus 3. So remember, 2 times BC is going to equal GH. So that's what I can plug in here. So BC is 4x minus 3. And I got to times it by 2 and set that equal to 7x minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. And I get 8x minus 6 equals 7x minus 1. And then I can now combine my like terms. X minus 6 equals negative 1. Add 6. And x equals 5. They didn't ask me to find x. They asked me to find GH. So remember, GH was 7x minus 1. So I'm going to replace x with 5. 7 times 5 is 35 minus 1. And the length of GH is 34. Now, you could have also taken GH and multiplied it by a half. But it's a lot easier to times something by 2 versus a fraction. So I would definitely multiply that mid-segment length by 2 versus trying to find half of the side of the triangle. So your answer here is 34. And that is it for the notes on 6.4.